KO.
Hello, my name is Marco, and for this video, I'll be predicting the quarterfinalists for the women's draw for Roland Garros 2017 or French Open 2017. So this year's French Open is quite interesting. Number one, Maria Sharapova has quite been a controversial comeback. She was not given a wild card to compete in the main draw, although she won the 2012 and 2014 edition of the of French Open, and she was actually a finalist in the 2013. She was beaten by Serena Williams. Number two, Serena Williams is out. She's pregnant, so she would not be competing until the end of the season. Although her manager has mentioned that she will be competing for next year's for the 2018 tour. Now, let's go first and try to break the draw into two halves, the top half and the bottom half. Now, for the top half, I think it is full of veteran or experienced players. We have players like Sam Stosur, Kuznetsova, Venus Williams, Wozniacki, I think, who is a veteran. A lot of players who are experienced, and a lot of clay court players, especially Sam and Kuznetsova. Now, Sam Stosur, I think that she's a very good player. I mean, she's a very good clay court player. If you would remember, Sam has been into the finals, I think 2010, against Francesca Schiavone, and she was a semifinalist last year. She lost to Muguruza. I think that she has a very good chance reaching the quarterfinals. Her toughest opponent might be Yelena Ostapenko. I think so. Yelena is having a good year this year, so she's she's consistent. But Sam's game is really works well in clay. So I think she has a very good playing style in this kind of court. And Sam has been doing well as well in French Open, although she won the US Open last 2011, which is a hard court Grand Slam. Now, for the second section, I think her opponent would be Kuznetsova. I think Kuznetsova is having a pretty good year as well. She made a good comeback last year, and I think Kuznetsova is a very good clay court player as well. She actually won the tournament 2009, whom she beat Dinara Safina, former world number one. Kuznetsova's game is very powerful. I think that she hits ground strokes very well, and her kind of game really works in clay. I think she's a very smart player. She's very good in the net as well. So I think that she has a pretty good chance, reaching the quarterfinals as well. Not just pretty good, but I think it's a 100% chance, or maybe not. Her toughest opponent would be Wozniacki, but Wozniacki, I think Wozniacki's year started well. She was in the finals for two consecutive tournaments, but and then she reached Miami. After Miami, I think that her game or her clay court season is a little bit mediocre. So I would not bet my money for Wozniacki. I would bet my money for Kuznetsova. The next section is for Muguruza, Garbiñe Muguruza. Now, Garbiñe Muguruza is a good player. I mean, she has a very powerful forehand and backhand. But for this year's, I think she suffered a lot of injuries this year. Although she was on the semifinals of the Italian Open for this year, a couple of weeks ago, she retired. So she retired on that match. I think for a neck injury. But I think that Muguruza would have a chance, but I would bet my money for Kristina Mladenovic, which is a very hard name to pronounce, I think. So Kristina, the young French woman, I think that she has a very consistent year. She's having a very consistent season. I think she, as of the moment, she has reached I think 4 finals, and she has reached the final in Madrid. She was beaten by Simone Halep, but Christina has a good chance as well, or good opportunity to reach the quarterfinals. Now, the last section of the top half, I think it's a very wide draw, but I would place my bets for Venus Williams. I think that Venus is having a consistent year as well. She was a quarter finalist in the Italian Open. She had a good chance as well in Madrid. I no, she withdrew in Madrid. I mean in Miami, but she was beaten by Johanna Konta. She had a good She had a good run as well in Miami, but she was beaten. I mean in Indian Wells, but she was beaten by Vesnina, which is an eventual champion. So I think Venus is a good chance reaching the quarterfinals. Toughest opponent for that section would be either Timea Bashinsky or Dominika Sibylkova. But I'm a little hesitant because Dominika, who performed very well last year, is having an inconsistent year this year. And Timea is, that girl always has injuries. So I'm not sure. But, interesting fact, Timea has actually reached the semifinals here in 2011. And I think prior to that year, she was considering retiring away from the sport because, I think she was not producing good results. But, good thing that she came back for the 2015. She has reached the semifinals, but she was just beaten by Serena Williams. I remember that match. Now, for the bottom half of the draw, I think that it's more predictable. We have players like Simone Halep, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, Karolina Pliskova, Simone Halep, Bouchard, Yelena Svitolina. Although, what's interesting is that I think I've read in an article that this half of the draw, no player has won a Grand Slam. So we might see a player who's a first-time finalist, or we might see a player after the tournament, a first-time winner, who's a French Open. Their French Open is going to be their first Grand Slam. So let's go first to the first section of the bottom half. I think that Elena Svitolina has a very good chance of reaching the quarterfinals. She's having a pretty consistent year so far. She has won the most titles in the WTA Tour. She has won Rome, and she's having a very good year as well. Her toughest opponent may be Bouchard. Bouchard has reached the semifinals here. She was beaten by, I think, 2012. She was beaten by, or 2014, and she was beaten by Maria Sharapova. I think so, Maria Sharapova or Simona Halep. I'm not really sure. But Bouchard is coming back. She had a pretty inconsistent year, but I'm not a big fan of Eugenie. Now, Halep is an obvious choice for her section, but a lot of people is questioning her physical health because she has an injury last week after her fall. Not last week, 2 weeks ago, after her fall in Rome. Strykova. Barbara Strykova from Czech Republic. I think that she has a good chance as well reaching the quarterfinals. Now, for the last set, if you would look at Barbara's game, I think that she's a very smart player. I've seen her played against Venus and Serena. Recently, Serena on this year's Australian Open. She places the ball, she places her shots. Her shot selection is very good, so she places her shots very well. I think she don't have a good serve, but on the net she's very, very good. That's why I think that she had a good relationship with Sanya Mirza in the doubles tour. Now for the last section, I think this would be a mix, a decision between Pliskova and Pavlyuchenkova. Now Pliskova is a consistent player and she's good, but I think clay is not suited her in her game. I think that she's like Maria Sharapova during her early career. Not her playing style, I mean, but the way her playing style connects to the clay court. I think that she has a similarity with Sharapova during her earlier career. So Pliskova needs to learn how to love the clay. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, I think, has a pretty good chance reaching the quarterfinals this year. So, and she's a very good player. She's having a consistent year as well. So, just a recap. I think it's gonna be Sam Stosur versus Kuznetsova, Christina versus Venus, and Elena versus Halep, Sirkova against Anastasia. So that's it. If you have any questions, or if you have any, if you'd like to leave any comments, please do so, and please subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. I'll be doing a prediction for the men's draw maybe in a few minutes.